Okay. There's a song I love, and I say I love it because I don't actually love the song. It's like it's by far my favorite song from this particular artist. But I say that I love this song because it takes me back to a particular place in time, and in essence, it's one of the many functions that art can do. One of the many functions that art provides for people is that it puts you in that time and that place when you first heard it, or that music was meaningful for you for some reason or other, So, I think about Jamiroquai's album, Emergency on Planet Earth. That was the first time I was in love, my first boyfriend, and the first time we made love, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or I think back about, Them Belly Full by Bob Marley and how that puts me in a certain rebel mood. So the song that I want to talk to you about today is Beyonce's Crazy in Love. It's a song that at the time was it. It was like, wow, this is it. This is the it song. But in retrospect, it was only a little bit compared to what Girlfriend had to follow, what she had, what came afterwards. I mean, it's amazing to think about it because when I think about that song, Crazy in Love, it puts me back in that place. And so when I'm thinking back to 2003, I'm forced to remember who I was, where I was, what I was doing, how I saw the world, what my hopes, anxieties, fears, cautions, passions, all those things were then as compared to now. And so, when this song came out, I was in a transition period. And transition is important for Libras because we crave stability. And it's October, and so no wonder that I'm actually thinking about, talking about, and wanting to actually blog about transition. So when this song came out in 2003, I was living in Bonn, in the former capital of Germany, and I was on my way to moving. I was deciding, putting in the final applications and details of moving to New Delhi, India, which I subsequently did. But while I was living in Bonn, as I do, I said, let me dive in. So I joined a dance company. And Karen, my God. I mean, if there's one thing that you can say from a dancer's perspective, 6 o'clock. She has the 6 o'clock to the, I mean, in effortlessly. When I say effortlessly, I mean 6 o'clock. So I've had dance teachers. I've had especially ballet teachers of all shapes, hues, sizes, colors, genders, etc. Um, but Karen Maston was one of those people who would say, when she said, okay, so I want you to do this in the choreography, and she would do, okay, 6 o'clock. Whereas some ballet teachers might say, I want you to do 6 o'clock, but they might just do like, a tendu. And so this song literally takes me back to Karen Maston's 6 o'clock, to that period, that time when I was both deciding, well, we had decided, we were at that point. You ever been at the point where you've decided something and so you're just kind of waiting for it to unfold? That's what this song brings me back to. And that's what's ironic about it, because in retrospect, that's what it was for Beyonce. It was like, oh, okay, we're gonna be together and we're gonna like do like pop music, and here's like a sample. That's what Crazy in Love was. What's ironic is that at the time, Crazy in Love was their debut album. It was her debut. It was her debut album. It was her debut song. They had done Bonnie and Clyde, but Crazy in Love, or was Bonnie and Clyde after? I can't now have to actually think about it, which came before the other, but they were around the same time, and so they were starting this collaboration. I'm starting to think that Bonnie and Clyde was afterwards, because the beat is even sicker, and so they started this collaboration, and it got deeper and deeper, fatter and fatter, sicker and sicker, and that's what I was doing at that time. I was getting married. I wasn't married at the time. So this was the period when I was engaged to be married, and got married was when this song was out. And it takes me literally back to that place and time, which is why I want to remember it. It was summer time, and we were living in Bonn, but the dance company was in Cologne. So we were in an actual like city full of culture, full of people. And it was like one of those places where you're like, should we stay here? Should we dive in? and there was something that happened, and it could have only happened in the way that it happened in order for it to have the significance that it eventually had for me. So we were planning to move to India, both to pursue our PhDs, my partner in business, me in sociology, and we didn't know at the time, but our departments were right next door to each other, separated only by a gate, because originally the School of Business was a part of the Delhi School of Economics, but because they grew into School of Business, as business schools do, they were separate and grew into the Faculty of Management Science, Faculty of Management Studies, FMS, and there was a gate put between them. But we didn't know all of this at the time, that all this was to unfold. And that's what this song, that's why I work hard to it when I go on the dance floor. When I hear it, even randomly in a club or on the radio, I pay homage to it. It's not one of my favorite songs from this artist. As I said, it's a time when it's like, okay, everything's about to unfold. We've got the plan. We're set. So it's not their greatest to come. And for me too, it wasn't my greatest to come, but it was like, okay, we got this. We got this. We're moving from Germany to India. I'm an American guy, a black American guy of Nigerian origin, and he's a German guy. And we decided to, universe says, meet each other in Bangkok in a tailor shop when I'm studying abroad, doing my master's, during the last semester, and he's traveling because, he has his, several weeks vacation as they do in Germany. We happened to meet each other in my favorite tailor shop, whose name was Karma, Mr. Karma, and his apprentice's name was Mr. Lucky. And so this is one of those times when, that's when we first got together. But back when this song came out, even a part of the dance troupe, there was a black American woman who had moved to Germany with her German husband, who was from Cologne, and they had a grown daughter who was also a part of the dance troupe that Karen was putting together. And this daughter's name was the name of an important Indian mountain, Anupuram, I believe it was. I can't even remember the full name. So much is a story so deeply a part of who I am, because it was a signal of, yes, you can do this, and there's someone here to carry this tradition on and to support Karen and what she was doing, because it's really important that the black music and black culture is reflected so widely in the world. It's really important that black people actually do it and that we connect with each other in the world. So I knew that Karen also had those people to connect with there and to remain there with her and to support her and to grow and it did. And she's all that, and she's the bomb, and she's still got, you talk about 180 degrees, she's got 181, 2, 3, she's all that. And so when I met this woman and her daughter, and they were talking about what it was like to be a black German and what it was like to be a black person coming to Germany, but also what it was like to be born and raised as a black German, but with an Indian name. They were saying, this was our hope. This was our hope for the future. So you take this and you go. And so we went to India. And every time I hear this song, I'm put back to that month. And now that I think about it, because it was a period, literally because I know we were engaged but not married, I can track down in my mind the period. It was June 2003 when this song was the song, when it was the hit, when it was the bomb, when it was Beyonce's of Destiny Child's first debut album, and she's doing it with this hip hop guy who is a mogul, and we had no idea what was to come. We had no idea what was to come. We had hopes, and we knew, and we thought that girl's got the potential, and if it's done well, she is the one to do it. But you know how many people you've seen that and you thought this person can do it, but if they do it well, they can do it. She actually did it. And that's why I love Beyonce, because she challenges me, and that's why I love her music, and including this song, which is not one of my favorite songs from her. Easily, I have 10 others ahead of this. Is my favorite song, my favorite Beyonce or Destiny's Child song. But it is to say that this song puts me in my place. This song makes me understand and realize how small I am in the world. That where I am now is far, 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 far from where I was a few years ago, but certainly where I was in June of 2003 when I was engaged and gonna get married on the 30th of that month, and then move to India that September, pursue a PhD, and then be in the world. Those things happened, and Beyonce helped me along the way.